Hey everyone, welcome back to another versus matchup video. Today we have Toichiro Suzuki, I probably butchered that pronunciation, versus All For One, Mob Psycho versus My Hero Academia. If you enjoyed this video, dislike and subscribe. This is a collaboration with Giraffe, his link will be in the description below. And to anyone who knows anything about Mob Psycho, or just My Hero Academia, I guess both of them in general, you would know this would be an absolute stomp. So we're going to be using Prime All For One just to make it an even fight. To do this, we're going to use the typical multiplier that's used to get All Might in his prime, since he did probably just as well fighting Weakened All Might than he did fighting Prime All Might. So it's going to be times 60, so we're going to be timesing All For One's feats by 60 to get him in his prime. I think that's a fair high ball there. And yeah, as I just said, if you enjoy this video, dislike and subscribe. And yeah, let's just get right into this video.
So for strength and attack potency, comparable to Prime All Might, who could create a storm with a punch. 19.2796477647453 megatons times 60 for Prime equals 1.15677886588 gigatons of TNT, which is mountain level. I can barely count. I can barely count the 5, so I can't comprehend that level. And then
for Toichiro, it's kind of complicated for anything that's not 100% of his power, because at 100% of his power, he was going toe to toe with, and it was able to put worry in Shigeo Kageyama at 100%. That he was actually going to die, but obviously he didn't because he's the main protagonist. At 10% of his power, he was able to hit around Shigeo. Granted, he was heavily suppressed and not trying that much, but considering he's still able to hit him around a bit, it's still quite impressive. And scaling from Shigeo, at 100%, he was able to create a storm that spanned over several cities, which equates out to 38.6 gigatons of TNT, which is enough to destroy an island. So that would put Toichiro above Prime All For One. You could realistically say that 10% Toichiro's 1/10 of his power. That would make no sense. However, it's not really like that. It's in Mob Psycho when you go from you could be at 1% and then go up to 99, and not much would change. It's really just between 99 to 100 that changes everything. So yeah, you could say that he is 10 times weaker at 10%. However, even then, he still is slightly stronger than All For One. So yeah, this point goes to Toichiro.
For speed, he casually dodged Deadshot, who can transform at the speed of sound, which is 767.269 miles per hour, comparable to All Might, who moved 9 kilometers in a second, which is 20,132.427 miles per hour, and he must be faster than Kaminari's lightning, which is 270,000 miles per hour, times by 60 for Highball, which would be 16,200,000 miles per hour. That's a big number.
In Mob Psycho, there aren't that many great speed feats besides Shigeo Kageyama flying 20 kilometers in a second, which comes out to 44,000 miles per hour. And while that is a big number, that is nowhere near All For One's speed. So yeah, All For One is much faster than Toichiro.
And then durability, and he took hits from All Might, so comparable to attack potency.
It's the same story for Toichiro. He took hits from 100% mob, so he's also comparable to his attack potency. So this would mean that Toichiro is more durable than All For One.
And then for abilities, weapons, and techniques, he can steal powers and give them to others. Air cannons. He has super strength, spring-like limbs, impact recoil. He can open portals, can observe and monitor up to 100 people at a time, including their location and weak points. He can open portals, can levitate, and can grow additional limbs.
Toichiro, meanwhile, can also steal powers and give them to others. This also includes energy as well, so he can effectively heal people. Of course, he chooses not to, but he can. He can fire energy blasts from his hands that can deal large amounts of damage. He can also cause explosions as well. He can also manipulate gravity from the point of view he can make it much heavier, and you have to be quite strong to be around it. He also has elemental manipulation, like he can create fire and ice just because. And if you were to compare him to Mob, he's completely unaffected by fire, lightning, water, and other such elements. So, as to who's more versatile, I'd probably have to give it to All For One. Whereas the better abilities, it is kind of more complicated because All For One's, recoil, or rather impact recoil, is quite overpowered. However, Toichiro's powers are also quite overpowered as well, so I'd probably have to give the abilities point also to All For One, but equally it is kind of up in the air. One of my other friends also suggested the fact that, whose giving and stealing powers are more powerful, and that is up for debate, as essentially, Toichiro presumably gave people powers that were able to contend with base Mob, who is around city block level or large building level, and All For One was able to give powers to the likes of Shigaraki and Muscular, so it is kind of up in the air for that too, but yeah, this abilities and versatility point goes to All For One.
And then, for what I think is the most important one out of all of them, for his weaknesses, he often tries to make his opponent feel hopeless, which could backfire. He is blind, so he relies on his infrared quirk to see.
Meanwhile, Toichiro doesn't really have that much besides the fact he is kind of cocky and believes that no one can be as powerful as he is. And not only that, but in his 100% form, it is so powerful to the point where if he's in it for too long, he'll eventually explode. And granted, that explosion is stupidly powerful, and it would definitely kill All For One. It would also end the fight in a draw, so yeah, that is also a weak point. So for us, the worst weakness, it is most likely Toichiro because of the explosion thing. However, because of how powerful it is and the fact that even with that he still can't really lose, you'd probably have to give the point to All For One for the worst weakness. So yeah, it's also kind of subjective. So now for the conclusion, from what we've drawn from this, Toichiro is more powerful, more durable, has a less vulnerable weakness. Meanwhile, All For One is faster, has the better abilities, and is more versatile. So who wins the fight? It is quite close. Obviously the speed difference is a big thing to take into account. All For One could whittle Toichiro down little by little until eventually he loses. And I'm gonna ignore the fact that they can steal powers because I'm pretty sure both of them could try that at the same time and nothing would happen. So, and it's also kind of applying one universe's logic to another, which doesn't always work. So Toichiro could definitely take All For One down, quite easily actually. However, the issue is, hitting him. The thing is, though, Toichiro can hold people in place and is really good at doing so with telekinetic powers, so all he would need to do is hold them in place once and he could very well kill him from there. The shock absorption, or the physical recoil, is quite an overpowered ability, as we said. And while yes, if Toichiro were to try it, it would deal significant damage to him. He also has his attacks that he can use from far range, such as the energy blasts or the explosions. All For One could, using the portals, escape from Toichiro's explosion, and that's how he could win the fight. However, I don't believe Toichiro would even need 100% to do so, considering he's already more powerful than All For One at 10%. So yeah, I would have to say that Toichiro wins this fight more often than not. All For One can definitely win, and there are scenarios where All For One does, but I believe that still more often than not that Prime All For One would not beat Toichiro. If you enjoyed this video, dislike, subscribe, check out Giraffe in the description below, and yeah, I will see you in the next video.